In today's episode, we're going to have a special guest, my husband, Will. I figured it was important for him to share his perspective on what did it look like on his side while I was going through this health journey. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Yuri. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I help women with hair loss by getting to the root cause of it. I wanted my husband to share his perspective because I feel like a lot of us forget that we're not the only ones in the process of figuring out our chronic symptoms. I do work with a lot of women, but I'm fully aware that these women do have supporting partners that are in their journey as well. They may not be experiencing these symptoms themselves, but they are in the journey of what it takes to really optimize your health, because when you're optimizing your health, you are changing your lifestyle. So I wanted him to share his perspective on what were his thoughts when we first started, the difference that he sees now, the benefits that we are both experiencing and get to enjoy this part of life now that my health is in a better place. And also he's going to share the one supplement that he takes, and he's going to describe a little bit of how it helps him overall. So I hope you find this helpful for you, or if you do have a supporting partner, maybe you could share this episode with them. And once again, this is my husband, Will. So the first question that I have is, what are your thoughts on when I first started taking supplements? What did you think overall? And how we changed the way that we were eating to healthier foods?
Well, to be honest, it was new. I didn't understand what was going on. Before that all happened, we had been together for, almost 6 to 7 years. So, like they always say, we're creatures of habit. So, we were young, we were eating out, eating fast food, and, that's kind of how we bonded. So for me, it was just something that was new that I didn't understand. And it was like when you were first starting to do it, it was like, well, okay, we can't do this anymore. So it was kind of strange to adapt to it. And I didn't understand. And I just thought it was just one of those things that, it's another supplement where they're just trying to take your money. And that's kind of my perspective.
When did you first notice that it was changing and it wasn't like just another supplement on the market?
Well, it wasn't so much of the supplements. I just remember one period where you were really thin. I remember you were thinner than usual. You had always been fairly the same weight since I've known you and met you. And I really thought something was wrong. And I felt like, why are we taking supplements? It seems like there's something really serious going on with you health-wise, just because of the amount of weight that you lost so quickly. So that was one of my concerns. And another part, the hair loss. And I guess you were saying that your hair was thinning out. And I can't really notice. But for me, I definitely noticed the weight change. You were more fatigued than usual. So when you started taking these supplements, I was kind of opposed to it because I was like, I'm just trying to try anything to figure out what's going on with me. And I felt like you were in panic mode. But once I started seeing things that I started to notice was your pain. Like you would start to get, I remember one time we went out to a game in Dallas and you were just so uncomfortable. You were just in so much pain. And I never seen you like that before. And that's when I knew like, this is serious. Like she can't even walk around really, because she's in so much pain now. I was like, something's going on. And I remember when I started noticing the change, and you would take the discipline to cut out sugars, cut out processed foods, and you just focused on like whole food. And that's kind of when we found out about natural grocers. And that's when we started changing our water that we drink. And then once I started noticing, she's not in as much pain anymore. And now we're starting to do things again like we used to. Even though, it might be a little difference. It might not be the McDonald's. It might not be the Taco Bell. It might not be the pizza. It might not be the typical foods that people usually eat when they're out. But we're still out. And she has energy and she is not in pain. So that's when I started taking the supplement serious and I started to believe in it.
I will share one of the supplements that my husband did also try and liked is the reishi mushroom. I'll have him explain why he likes taking reishi mushroom.
Reishi mushroom, another thing. I didn't know what it was. It was all new to me. Supplements for me, from my perspective, like I don't have any negative opinion against it. It was never one of my forms of treatment for my body. Like, for instance, like when I was in high school, I played football. I was in high school sports all the way to my senior year, and then I joined the military afterwards. So all I know is, you work out and you kind of eat what you eat what you want to eat, right? I never say, you know what, hey, let me try this supplement, because I've always been naturally, I don't know if it was my genetics, but I was always been a tall, big guy, so I never had any problems, building muscle or anything like that. So it was never like, I was never propelled to go into that area. But obviously, me being married to you, I got introduced to it, and I saw you taking it, so, and you were trying to get me to try it. And one thing I will say that I did notice after building up the supplement of Reishi in my system, I noticed that it's kind of like a jack of all trades when it comes to supplements. Any deficiencies that you might have. For me, I'm an overthinker. I'm always analyzing everything around me. And what I did notice is Reishi, like, it slows you down. Like, it kind of keeps you at a base level from my perspective. Like, it just made me feel like my mind is not going 100 miles an hour. So for me, I noticed that. I noticed the relaxation, obviously. It just made me a more calmer person. And that's what worked for me. But I'm pretty sure for another person, or maybe for you, it did something different, or whatever you were deficient in, it fixed that. That's what I feel like Reishi does. I feel like it finds the problem in you, and the problem's going to vary from person to person, obviously.
What would you say to husbands that their wives, or for boyfriends that their girlfriends are starting out a healthier lifestyle, or they're trying to address like the root cause? And what's something that you would share with them, since you already went through the process?
For all the husbands and boyfriends, and I understand, like, it's frustrating. For one, I totally, I could level with you. At first, it's very different. It's foreign. It doesn't make any sense. But throughout all of that frustration that you have, just think, wait a minute, is she's doing something that's harming her? Or is this really going to make her better? Focus on your spouse rather than yourself, and really look at okay, is this new thing that she's doing, is it harming her, or is it going to make her a better version of herself? And when you start thinking she doesn't want to do this anymore because it's unhealthy. She wants to eat these healthier foods, or she wants to not drink sodas and she wants to drink more water, or is her drinking more water or eating more whole foods hurting her, or is it going to help her? And that's one thing I had to realize, wait a minute, it's only making her better. It's going to make her feel better. She's going to be in a better mood. She's going to have energy so that you guys can go do things. And she's not going to be I'm just tired. I don't know why. I'd rather just stay home and just lay in the bed, and I don't want to do anything. So which one would you rather have? It also kind of, to be honest, for me, it just really shined a light on what I was doing. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't thinking about my health or something down the road, could happen to me. Who knows what could happen when I got older. So you have to sit down and really have a self-discipline and be wait a minute, is what I'm doing right now, is it the healthiest thing for me? And sometimes it is your wife or your girlfriend. Maybe they're getting a jump start in it. And maybe it's something that you can learn from to also better yourself health-wise. Because, health is wealth, right? So if we're not working correctly, if we're dealing with some health issue, or we're not 100% ourselves, how can we go to a job every day? How can we give our best at whatever it is that you do? If you run a business, if you are an athlete, whatever it is that you do to earn your money to survive, how can you do that if you are not healthy? So just kind of look at it like that from an overall perspective, and don't focus so much on the moment and the macro level of everything is changing, and I don't understand why.
To end this episode, I'll say thanks for sharing your perspective. And I know it wasn't as easy to change something that you didn't fully understand at first. But I do believe that overall it has benefited both of us. And is there anything else that you want to say, or to end this conversation?
Well, definitely. I'm here to support you. I learned a lot. And for the audience out there, I feel like their significant others can learn a lot as well. And it's just another form of growth, another way to grow with your partner. And thanks for having me on.
And until next time.